Okay. And just a reminder too that Zener Mobile Yoga is having their free week. So the week of June 29th, it'll be a full free week for anybody. So if you have people who want to join up, we're not doing any, I don't think we're doing any live classes. We may do a couple of live classes, but all the video recordings will be available. So it'll all be free for that week. So if anybody wants to just kind of get a password from Jennifer for that week, and then they can view a whole bunch of different classes. So I'll send an email out on that as well, because that's coming up in a couple weeks. So I won't have a live class that week. It'll just be whatever recording, because it's my birthday. So maybe I'll get to do something. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, so let's sit comfortably for a few moments. We can check in as we close our eyes, check in with our bodies. Take a couple of cleansing breaths. If you feel comfortable this evening and would like to bring your hands to your heart and chant 3 ohms with me. Take a nice deep breath in. Let us set our intention for today's practice. May I be free from fear and harm. May I be content as I am. May I be at peace with whatever comes. Let's bow our heads to our heart in gratitude for our practice today. Just showing up on our mat. As we bring our head up and we release our hands, let's keep a few moments with our eyes closed. Maybe one hand comes on the belly, maybe one hand in the center of the chest, or both hands on the belly. And let's just check in with our breath. So if we're working with Ujjayi breath, which is fine today, soften the back of the throat. Inhaling softly through the nose. Feeling belly expand, chest expand. Let's hold the inhale at the end of the inhale for as long as it feels comfortable for you, not agitating. And then when you're ready to release it, long exhale again through the nose, contracting the belly. Let's just do that a few times. As we feel the energy move from the head space down all the way to the tailbone or lower diaphragm. So we feel a little bit more grounded into the earth. Nice long exhale. It feels comfortable. Remove your hands. Gently open your eyes. We'll stretch our legs straight out in front of us for the first moment. So let me get comfortable here. And stay up on a blanket if you have one. We're going to start with a twist today. So I'm going to take my right foot over, place it into the earth somewhere where it's comfortable. And we'll draw the leg in. So maybe this left hand is on the knee, or if you really want to go deeper, you can bring the elbow outside. But remember, we are here for a little while, so whatever feels good to you. We'll take that left hand behind us, place it into the earth. You can place it on a block if you would rather. Maybe just fingertips into the earth or fingertips on a block. Soften our feet. Let's lift the crown of the head, relax the shoulders, take a breath or two here. And then when you're ready, draw that belly in and let's twist to the right, towards that leg. Soften the face. Let's not worry too much about the neck and head for the moment. Let's keep the neck comfortable, so maybe the chin is right over the chest. We'll take just a few more moments to relax the shoulders and get into the breath. Maybe now you can feel that energy moving down into the belly. Twisting a little bit more if it's possible, right at that low belly and waist. And taking a few deep breaths here and sinking in. So we're not holding on to anything, trying to make it light and comfortable. Taking just another minute in this pose. Can we go a little bit deeper? Let's take a nice deep breath in. Just take your time slowly starting to unwind. We'll extend both legs out in front of us. Make any adjustments that you need to before we go to the other side. So when you're ready, we'll take that left foot over. Good. Left hand behind us. And I'm noticing if you're rooted in both sit bones. So we're not leaning to one side. We should be pretty comfortable in both sit bones and tall. Good. When you're ready, just begin the twist, taking yourself where you need to go on this side. We're being mindful of the breath. Maybe even staying with a Ujjayi breath for these first few poses. You can go just a tad deeper, or if you need to release it just a little bit for this last minute. Drawing in a nice deep breath. Let's slowly unwind. You can bring those legs out in front of you for just a moment. I'm going to stay seated through one more pose today and bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. If you need to use blocks underneath your knees to support you, go ahead. Or if you want to use a block to support your head, that's fine too. Whatever seems to work best for you today. Let's take a few moments to get comfortable. I always pull my feet a little bit further away from the body than I do normally. Good. Draw that belly in, and then when you're ready, just allow yourself to sink forward a little bit. Wherever the arms feel comfortable, sometimes people like to take blocks actually and place them out in front so the arms can rest on the blocks. That's great too. And so if you're going too far and the low back begins to feel uncomfortable, just bring it up a little bit with some props. You can rest your head on the floor or on your feet. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed as well. Let's draw in another really nice full breath to make sure we're relaxing from the crown of the head. Maybe tucking our chin a little bit if we need to. Can we feel the release down through the spine? And the belly releases. Hopefully hips and inner groin, low back a little bit as we go a little bit deeper in our pose. See if you can stay in it just for another minute here. If you're feeling discomfort, notice where that discomfort is in the body, and then maybe it's linked to some memory or injury, the way you've been moving or sitting. Just be mindful. And so for the next inhale, as you maybe use your hands to press up, take your time and let the legs come together and stretch out in front of you. And if you need to take a moment to let the feet rotate, let the hips kind of open from side to side. So we're familiar with pigeon. We'll do the full pigeon pose today. We haven't been actually doing it for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to start with the right side. So make yourself comfortable. Use any blocks or anything that you need for this pose today. So right leg forward first if you're on the same page as me today. And maybe block underneath that right hip if you find that you're really tight. And this pose can be done on the wall. Legs can be up the wall if you need to as well. So take some time to really sink into it. So wherever you are on the wall or forward, give your hips some time to rest and feel gravity. And if you're on your belly, maybe it feels good to extend the arms forward and let the chest come down, or again, you can have your head on the block or resting on your hands. You're on your back today doing an alternate version. Just see if you can relax the shoulders. And let's bring in a nice full breath down into those hips, inner groin, outer hips, inner hips, low back. Taking a nice deep breath in. Just work your way to the other side. So however you like to transition, you need to take a break in between, whatever works for you. Beautiful. Starting to kind of wiggle in there, finding your perfect pose on this side that you can rest in. Be reminded to pull the awareness away from the thinking mind. In Ayurveda, we call it Vata, the Vata mind, the over-monkeying thinking mind, the air quality, down to the earth. So pulling it all the way down into this lower body where all of this pose is situated. Lower hips, inner groin, outer hips, low back. Down into the kapha body, as they would call it in Ayurveda, the earth energy. A bit more grounding, watery and heavy, this pose is. Maybe you can feel that energy and breath moving down, creating a more solid surface, a more relaxed mind. So when you're ready to come out of this pose, take a few deep breaths. Slowly push our way up. We're just going to come into child's pose for a few minutes. So if you have a transition that you want to do before child's pose, that's great. Otherwise, nice wide leg on the child, using whatever blocks or props you need underneath your belly. And arms can be wherever you feel comfortable in child's pose. So maybe hands underneath, arms forward, or even arms at your sides, touching your feet. So you decide what works best for you. So take another few seconds here. And use your hands to gently come up. And I'm just going to release the legs a little bit. This next pose will release them a little bit more, but just go ahead and stretch them out a bit. So we're going to do a supported bridge. So there's a couple of options if you want to put a bolster underneath your middle back, or we can use just a rolled up blanket if you don't want too much to be rolled up, just kind of like that. So it's a pretty good stack. I'm going to actually use a block and then put a blanket on top of the block because the block's not always very comfortable. So for bridge pose, you want that prop right at the base of the low back, so right where the sacrum is. And I'll show you before you get into it. So you can keep your feet on the ground like we do for normal bridge pose. Or if you think you want a little bit more, I like to stretch my legs out. That gives a really good stretch through that front of the body. Or you could do one leg at a time, if that feels good too. And then to help with the back bend, I'm going to go ahead and stretch the arms out to the sides. So instead of placing the block middle back or upper back, we're going to place it right at the sacrum. Good. And then just decide if you want those legs straight or if maybe you want them bent. And you can change halfway through, of course, if you want. And another option, if you feel like you could even do more in the shoulders and the upper back, you can stretch the arms over the head or in a cactus-like pose out to your sides. So anytime you move the arms over the heart, you're going to get more of a back bend in the upper body. So just make sure that that's okay for your lower body. Good. Nice. So settle in. Let's close the eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths. So you're holding your legs in a certain position, or can you go ahead and just kind of soften in those inner groin and hips, soften the feet if your legs are straight. Beautiful. Soften the belly and the upper or the low back into that prop that you're using. And take some deep ujjayi breaths. Again, into this lower diaphragmatic breath. And you let your eyes rest at the third eye center between the eyebrows. Good place for your mind, your monkey mind, the Vata mind to relax. So if your legs are stretched out in front of you, go ahead and just take this last few moments of the pose and bring your feet back to the earth. So you're in more of a supported bridge. And let your arms rest at your side so the back bend is just a little less. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths in, we'll just very mindfully take out whatever props you have from underneath you. So if you need to roll to the side to do that, we'll just come back onto our back and bring those knees in towards the chest because we want to make sure that our back is comfortable. So taking a few moments here with our knees to our chest, just tugging them in. So whatever feels good for Shavasana today. If you want to bring something underneath your knees to allow the legs just to be a little higher, or if you want to just stretch out in our usual letter X, maybe that feels appropriate today. And again, we want to keep ourselves warm, so place a blanket over you if you are a little chilly to keep the body warm and comfortable. So as our body sinks to the earth in this final pose, we feel the shoulders and the spine and the hips and the legs relax, and you take a few deep breaths just to kind of settle in there. There's no straining or working on the breath. It's just soft and relaxed. Maybe checking in with the mudra today. So using our hands, we can do all kinds of different mudras. We usually are pretty common using the thumb and first finger together in a mudra of wisdom and awareness, and this beautiful final mudra usually for class, but today let's work on a little bit more grounding mudra. So bringing all the fingertips to the thumb, the tip of the thumb. So all the tips of the fingertips to the tip of the thumb. And palms can face up, or actually you can turn the palms down too, so the fingertips touch the earth, whatever is more grounding for you. So this is the earth, one of the earth mudras. It connects us to our lower chakras. So navel, right underneath the navel, and tailbone. So feeling the energy, the fingertips and the tip of the thumb. Draw the energy also to the navel. Deep, full breaths, just notice the seat of awareness. You haven't used a mantra before to ground you. Ram is a good mantra for grounding. Just R-A-M, Ram. You can repeat it. Ram, 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 Ram. Ram is a grounding mantra that brings us deep into the center of ourselves. Sometimes it's translated as God, divine, king, awareness, whatever you want it to be, as long as it's grounding, spiritual, and comfortable for you. Let's release our hands. release our mantra. And draw in a deep breath as maybe you feel comfortable stretching, awakening into your evening. Let's draw our knees in towards our chest. Roll to our right side for a moment. And so as we ready ourselves to come back and rejoin the rest of our evening, take your time coming up to a nice comfortable seat, maybe bringing your hands to our heart. If you feel like it, let's chant one final Om together. Deep breath in. Om. Let us go in peace and love. Namaste.